Hello and welcome to this live session, this YouTube video, this Instagram video, talking about Sea of Love. I'm here to guide you through this enlightenment process. Let's get ourselves situated. Hello and welcome to this live talk or IGTV or YouTube video. I'm Henrik, the Master of Ease. I'm here to guide you through this enlightenment process that everybody starts on, but not everybody concludes, at least not in one lifetime. So we will have to take a little bit longer to understand it, but there is the potential to simplify this process, and that's kind of what we're here to do. Here to simplify and to bring clarity to the energy that we are holding and to the problems or ideas that we might encounter that kind of stifles us or makes us kind of stagnate and stop. So this is kind of here to help us kind of see what we're holding on to and help us to kind of move through these complications of the ego and of the mind or our emotions or our body. So I'm glad some people are coming on. Others will see this later. So we're talking about the Sea of Love, but in essence, it's just kind of describing a place we can kind of rest in. We have a tendency to, or we can only believe what we actually see, what we actually know. So that's the life we see around us. We believe what we see, what we know, how everything around us is transpiring, how life is unfolding. So most of us are kind of stuck in a little bit of confusion because we kind of we start on this enlightenment process in every life. And then as we kind of evolve and we get stronger, we kind of also do get stuck in ideas. We can get stuck in gender ideas, ideas of pronoun, ideas of color, ideas of nationality, ideas of woundedness, ideas of becoming a parent or a child, or all these different, or having a certain job, all these different that we, or having a certain education. All these factors will kind of gradually help us to move from a place of suffering. Suffering meaning that we feel kind of less than life. We feel like we haven't totally embraced life yet. We feel like we're not worthy of life. So we feel less, and in that matter, it's easy to feel that what we perceive is suffering. So we can easily go into, but in the moment we kind of claim strength, then I have suddenly moved out of my suffering and become a woman or a man, or I'm becoming a person of power or I'm proud of my ethnicity, or proud of my family, or proud of my education, or proud of my way of seeing life. This pride is often a place where people kind of seek, or it's a natural place of evolution that we become proud eventually. We push through. We might, sometimes you see it when people retire, and like, you have lived a long life, you've got kids, grandkids, and then you feel proud that now you can relax, or you become a parent, or you make a lot of money, or you feel like you got the job you deserved. So suddenly you feel a sense of pride. So a sense of strength. But still, this place of strength is also it is kind of a level of awakening, but it actually also makes us stop evolving. So that's where a lot of people stop, because we are still kind of connected, looking back on this path of suffering. So we're still kind of just still connected to suffering as our identity. So then we can start guiding others to overcome their suffering, but we're still just kind of, our ego is still, we're still living in the past. Everything is still living in the past. We're forgetting to live in the now, forget to live in the future. We forget to live in peace. We forget to live from a place of forgiveness and love. So it's like we are moving from a place of living in the city, and then we're seeking the mountain. So then we move up into the valley towards the mountain, and then gradually the mountain appears, and we might settle down because we see the mountain. We feel like we have arrived. So then now we teach how to get out of the city and into the mountain. Yet we might, that's the ego is easily seducing us to say that, oh, we have arrived. So most people feel, when we feel pride, we might be arriving before we actually have arrived. So we become content before, and we stop continuing to grow. If we had, we might have seen that there's still a continual journey. You have to kind of continue through the valley towards the mountain, and then you come deeper into the valley, and even from there there's a smaller path further up into the valley, into the mountain. And from there, if you actually want to, you actually have to get out of the car, and then you actually have to start walking up the mountain. So people, depending on what we believe and who's guiding us, we often get stuck. You might stop in this city, or in this little city up in the mountains, and then people be like, you have arrived, this is where you need to be, now you can relax, and then you settle down, because the rest, actually the mountain seems kind of scary, and it looks, so then you're like, you don't need to go up there, you don't need to. So then you kind of get complacent, and then some people continue, but most of them disappear, but then you realize there's a little city further up in the mountains where people have stopped, because the last part looks like you have to climb by your hands. So the fear kind of prevents us from kind of continuing. So it's easy to just stay in the valley. You're looking at the mountain, you feel like you arrived, and yet you actually have to continue. And then if you do continue, you will realize that when you continue up through the mountains, there's on the other side a valley of heaven, a valley of love, a valley of a paradise, which most people never get to because they get caught up in all these cities and all the drama and all these things, all the visions, all the ideas, don't go up there. You need this kind of equipment. You need to learn this. You need to learn. So people never really actually go and actually experience the mountain and actually just see that if you dare to move into the mountain, it is easier and it's not as dangerous as it looks. But you will have to confront your own fear. You see, most people, we get so focused on all these ideas of power, ideas of wanting knowledge, wanting wisdom, wanting to be the wisdom, wanting to be the teacher, wanting to be accepted for our pronouns or our gender or our color or nationality. We get caught up in the ego. And the ego rather wants to be right than actually have to seek the vulnerability to dare to take off all your clothes and be naked and walk to the other side. But that's the potential. That's where most people don't go. That is where you can reach the sea of love. That is where you, in humanity, in life, can actually reach that kind of paradise on earth. Heaven on earth. So this is the potential if we dare to continue, because it kind of requires guidance and patience, because it's easy to be like, oh, I understood the mountain. I saw the mountain, so I understand the mountain. Now I can tell others that in the city that I've seen the mountain. Yes, that's great. You've seen the mountain, but you haven't moved through the mountain. And the mountain isn't really a mountain. It's just that you have to dare to just follow the path. You have to dare to step out of the car and walk and dare to just continue going. So there's a perseverance. You have to kind of dare to have faith to keep going, even when it looks scary. But most people be like, no, don't. You should not go up there. I've heard people die up there. It's scary up there. You don't need to. You just need to do my course, and now you can teach like me. So there's all these people teaching about seeing the mountain, and they have never actually moved through the mountain to the other side. And the fields on the other side is completely different. So you kind of have to get there to believe it, to live it. So that is a slower journey. That is what now many people are moving towards a mountain. And then they get stuck in Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or all these opinions, which is good. We all need to kind of release the insanity of our ego, so we can empty our mind and open our heart to start to be able to find the motivation, encouragement to keep going past. So that's where you need guidance, a reminder that you actually have to. It's easy to stay when you actually need encouragement to keep going, dare to keep going. So this was my little talk today. And now we're going to go into the second part, which is the relaxation part, which you probably already are relaxed. Relaxation is not hard. And it's not the end point to relax. Relaxation is a support so that you can start listening more, not get so focused on tensing up, realizing that when you relax, there's the energy starts working in a different way so that it will help you to move through the mountain. So that's why we talk about relaxation. So let's move into the second part. We have a little pee break, or a little get your own a beer break, or a wine break, or some food, depending on where you are, or get into some comfies like me. A little silk robe or a silk dress, whatever you call this. It's comfy. And I will see you in a couple of minutes, and we will go into the mountain together. I'll see you soon. We are back. This is how I kind of usually roll, having a part of talking about this, but that talking kind of sets the intention and creates the energy vortex that is we kind of need to move. We move up the mountain. So let's, I'm going to talk a little bit from my book here. I have a few different ones. This is perfect. So lay down wherever you are, relax, and we'll start by reading about faith. Knowing is wonderful and feels safe to our life of being, but it will also hinder us in evolving. Since all knowledge is an act of controlling and not needed in the act of living. But with time and patience, we start seeing this act of surrendering. It happens every time we trust and let go. This trust is naturally seen in a baby and happens every time we fall asleep. And as such, we see how easy surrendering happens when we feel safe. Thus, it is not really surrendering that takes time, but the growing feeling of safety. Because our safety has been challenged before in our youth, where we might have trusted blindly. And to be blind is not preferred in living, since it might lead to drama. But as our clarity of life increases, as steadiness grows, bit by bit. Ah, beautiful. So, lay down wherever you are. The energy is already coming in. It's not so much relaxation, but more of receiving. Guidance is the act of receiving. That is why a teacher is more necessary as we evolve, as we have a tendency to feed our mind, feed our ego. And the mind and the ego kind of likes to figure everything out, but that a lot of times becomes regurgitating knowledge because we like to read and study and understand. Yet receiving is to receive breath, to receive energy, to live. Living happens completely natural when we stop trying to understand. The guidance up the mountain is not about understanding what's going to happen and how to get there, but to dare to follow the guide. So let's bring the energy in here. Now the music is coming from outside. And it's that of, receiving that energy, letting it come down into the body. And it's like pressure in your forehead. It is like the silence of the air, of the wind, allowing your shoulders to open and hang loose as your energy comes down into your spine and down into your hips. And then it comes down into your legs, into your ankles. Allowing the energy to kind of manifest throughout the body, not just in what people think about chakras or like all the stuff is usually like the upper body. We kind of need the lower body too. The energy to come through like a river of light. Allowing it to kind of brush through and to just breathe us up. Breathe through us like a sea of love. Wow, that's perfect. We got the sea of love coming back here. Yeah, and then it comes back up into a yawn, into the face, into the head, up through and out. Perfect. You can come back again. Shake loose, move out, move in. And thank you for joining in, whether you're here now or whether you're later. You will know. I don't need to know. I will see you if I see you. If not, I won't see you. And we will talk another time. You can always see me on the side if you're new and if you wanted to know something, or you can always give a donation. That's in my bio on Instagram, if on my webpage, henrikflornes.com, or the Master of Ease on Instagram, or on Facebook, Henrik Flornes. I have a page there too, and I also have a little signing up for my retreat this summer in the beginning of August in Alvdal, Elf Valley in Norway. So that's going to be fun. And it seems like we're going to be able to get to Norway, so that's going to be fun too. And good. Thank you guys for showing up, and I hope you have a beautiful Sankthansaften. Little burning fires in Norway, and I will talk to you soon.